Welcome to part 11 of my n8n training course. This part will focus on reading emails, and I have structured it into 5 points. First of all, I'd like to show you how to read Google mails. Then I would like to show you how to read mails from Microsoft Outlook. Then I would like to show you the IMAP node, with which you can read emails from every other email provider too. Then I would like to present you the task, and then afterwards we're gonna compare the task solution. For our first example, we're gonna read Gmail emails, and for doing so we're gonna need an account. So if you don't have an account yet, please go to gmail.com and create one. So basically, you click here on use another account, for example, then on create account for your personal use. Then you need to enter the first name, last name, and later your cell phone number. And then you need to write down your password because you're gonna need it for connecting n8n with your Gmail account. So when you're done setting up an account, please come back to this video. Okay, so for our example, I have set up this example test account at Gmail, and let's have a look at n8n. In your n8n dashboard, please click on Create Workflow, and then click on Add First Step, search for Gmail, then click on this arrow here, and we're gonna add the trigger on message received, okay? And now we are prompted to enter our credentials here. So now is the time to connect n8n with our Gmail account. So let's click this and click on create new credential. And now please click on the sign in with Google button. And then here from this list, you should see the test account that you have created. So let's click on this. And then we need to confirm that n8n can access our Gmail account. So let's continue. And now the connection was successful. So we can close this window and this window too. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna read an email by testing the connection. So we're gonna click on Fetch Test Event. And now we see that an email has already arrived. And like it is always the case, it is displayed as an object here. So it has a from. So now let's see who sent an email to us. It's from Google. The subject is a security alert, and the body of the email is here saved as a snippet. And here we can have a look. You allowed n8n cloud access to some of your Google account data. So this is an email that Google sent me that warns me that we have established connection between n8n and Gmail. So this is an expected email, which is fine. So now we can go back to Canvas, and now we can process this email. So to keep it simple, we're simply gonna create a set node here. And now we see the incoming email here as input. And now I can add a field here, and we can say that we want to process the from and the subject. Okay, so for this example, this is our goal. So I'm gonna change the view to schema. And now we can drag and drop the from here to this value text field, and we can say this is the from. And then we're gonna add a second text field here, and we're gonna drag and drop the subject right here into the value text box, and we're gonna call this subject. Now we're gonna execute the step, and now we have extracted the from and the subject from our incoming Google Mail. Now let's click on back to Canvas and execute the entire workflow. Okay, it looks like we have received the same email again. Let's execute the workflow again. And again. Okay, so this is not possible. It's not possible that in the past 3 seconds we have 3 times received the same email again. So what is happening right now is that the Gmail trigger reconsiders emails that already have been read. So we kind of need to do something about this. So let's double click on the Gmail trigger. And right here, we need to add a filter. Okay, and the filter is called read status. Okay, and we want to say that we only want to consider unread emails. Okay, so let's go back to Canvas and let's execute the workflow again. Okay, now we have received the same email again, but now it should be ignored from the Gmail trigger. Okay, but it's not ignored. So what we need to do now is we need to mark this message as read so that we do not reprocess it. So let's click on the plus icon here on the right side. Let's look for Gmail. And let's pick this mark a message as read note. Okay, so let's go back to Canvas and position it correctly. Let's put a note here. And let's create a connection between the Gmail trigger and this node. Okay, let's double click on this node, mark a message as read. And here we see that we already have received the input from the Gmail trigger. And now we see this read text box that looks like it's expecting some input data. So now we can drag and drop the ID right here in this field. Okay, and let's go back to Canvas and let's execute the workflow again. Okay, now the same email has arrived as expected, but now it should not appear. And it does not appear. So now our filter worked and the incoming email after processing has been marked as read. Let's do the same for Microsoft Outlook. So please go to signup.live.com and create your Microsoft Outlook account. The sign up form looks like this. And it's not really intuitive. So basically you need to define your username, then you type the @ symbol and you type outlook.com. And then you proceed with the sign up process. And you also need to specify your first name, your last name, and cell phone number and recovery email address. And then you are done setting up your account. And when you are done doing so, you're gonna see the dashboard of Microsoft, and you click on these dots here, and then you click on Outlook. And then you're gonna see your inbox. And when you are ready setting up your Outlook account, please come back to my video. Welcome back to the video. So for the next example, I have created this Outlook test account, which I'm gonna use now. So let's go back to n8n. In your n8n dashboard, click on Create Workflow, then click on Add First Step, then search for Outlook, select Microsoft Outlook, and then select the On Message Received trigger. And then also here, just like we had to with Gmail, we need to create some credentials here. So click on Create New Credential. Then you also need to connect your account. So click on Connect My Account. And then right here, maybe you already see your fresh account listed here. If not, you need to sign in here manually. In my case, I can simply click on my new Outlook account. So now the connection was successful. I'm going to close this window now, and I'm going to close this window as well. And now we can have a look at our first test event. And now we see that we already received an email. And here we see that we have the subject, we have the body stored here in this key body preview. And then we have the from. And so basically we have everything we need to process this email. So let's go back to Canvas, and for the sake of this exercise, we're gonna, for this example, we're gonna click on the plus here, and we're gonna create a set node. And now we want to extract the from and the subject, okay? So now let's create a new field from here, and we're gonna extract the from and drop it here. And then we do the same with the subject. And we're gonna drag and drop the subject here, and let's execute the step. And now we can see that we have all the data that we need. Now let's click on back to Canvas to go back to the canvas. And here let's click on execute workflow again and again and again. And we can see that we receive the same email over and over again. And this is the same like we had with Gmail, where we had to define a filter. And let's do so. Let's double click here on the Outlook trigger. And here we need to click on add filter, and we need to select the red status. And we want to only see unread messages. Okay, let's click on back to Canvas. And now we also have to add a node that marks the email as read. So let's click on the plus, search for Outlook, and then scroll down to the message actions, and we're going to select the update the message node. Okay, let's go back. Let's delete this connection here, and let's position it in parallel to the set node. Let's create a connection, and let's double click here on this node. And here we can see that when we click on this drop down, that we can specify a message that we want to mark as read, but we're gonna specify that we want to pass an ID from the input node. So let's click on by ID, And here in the input area, we see that the ID is right here. We can drag and drop it here into this text box. And now we need to specify what field should be updated, because this is a more abstract node. So here the resource is message, the operation is update, and now we need to specify what field. So let's click on add field, and here we're going to select isRead. And then we also need to specify that we're going to set it to true. Okay, and let's go back to Canvas and let's execute the workflow again. Wait, let me just rearrange these windows here. Okay, let's execute it again. Okay, so now we see one message here. Okay, let's execute it again. And now it is already gone, so the message is marked as read. Now we need to talk about IMAP. And what is IMAP? IMAP is a protocol that email servers use to enable access to emails. So all the email servers in the world basically run on IMAP. So first of all, we can say that there are public email servers, for example, Gmail, Outlook, Yahoo Mail, and Hotmail, and so on. Those are public email servers, and they run on IMAP. Okay, and if you work for a corporate or for the government, you probably don't save your emails in a public cloud. You save your emails in a private, protected cloud. And these private email servers, they also run on IMAP. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to set up the IMAP node that potentially makes it possible to access your private cloud emails. Let's have a look. Of course, I'm not going to show you now how to set up your local private IMAP email server. But what we can do now is we can treat Gmail like our own private email server. Okay, so there is exactly two things that we need to do. The first thing is we need to enable two-factor authentication for our Gmail account. And please go to this URL here and then enable two-factor authentication. So let's do this together. So at this link, you're going to see an interface like this. And right below here, right down here, you see two-step verification is off. Click that. And then you click on the button, turn on two-step verification, okay? Okay. So now the name of the button should have changed. Now the name is turn off two-step verification. Okay, so now two-factor verification is turned on. And by the way, two-step verification and two-factor authentication is the same. Okay, so then what is the second thing that we need to do? The second thing is we need to generate an app password. And an app password is basically a password that you generate for one app that is authenticated, or that is authorized to use your Gmail account. Okay, so please go to this URL here. Yeah, and then you're gonna land here. And then right here, you specify a name for your app. So in our case, we're gonna call the app n8n training course, and you're gonna click on create. And then you're gonna see the app password right here. So please copy that. Click on done. So let me simply copy that here. Okay. So now we have created one app password, which means that this app here, n8n training course, is authorized to access our Gmail account. In your n8n dashboard, please click on Create Workflow, then click on Add First Step, then search for IMAP and pick the email trigger here, okay? Then, just like we had to do with Gmail and Outlook, we need to define our credentials here. So let's click on Create New Credential. And here as the user, we need to fill in our Gmail address. So this is my Gmail address here. As a password, you need to fill in the app password, not the account password, okay? So I'm gonna copy paste the app password here. Then as a host, we need to specify imap.gmail.com, port is 993 and SSL is enabled. So now we can click on save. And now this means that the connection was successfully established. Now we can close this window and we can not yet execute this step. I want to shift your attention to this drop down here. Right here we have this action mark as read. Okay. For the other email nodes, we had to manually mark the emails as read with an extra node. But here with the IMAP node, we have the action directly in the node, in the central node, so to say, itself. So what we do now is we select nothing. Okay. And let's click on execute step. Okay, so now we, here in this output, we see 2 items now. And let me click on this curly bracket in order to collapse the view once and another time. And now we see that this array has 2 items, which means that we have received 2 emails. Okay. So now we can execute this step again, and we're gonna see that we still have 2 emails. Okay, so what happens now if we select the action to be mark as read? Let's do this and let's execute this step again. So again, 2 emails and now another time. And now we see that nothing arrives here. Okay, nothing arrives here because the IMAP node has marked the emails as read. And now there is an important difference to the Gmail and Outlook nodes because here in my Gmail account, the new emails have been marked as read. And who did that? This was done by the n8n IMAP node. So the n8n IMAP node directly changed the read status on the server. Okay, so what we can do now is here we can manually reverse the read status. We can now mark these 2 emails as unread. Okay, once and twice, and now we can execute this step again. And now we see that the emails were received again. So this is a huge difference to the Gmail and Outlook nodes that this IMAP node directly marks the email's read status on the server. Okay, so let's go back to Canvas and let's add a set node right after the IMAP node here. And now we can see that we already have some input right here. And what we want to do now is we want to extract the from and the subject field from the incoming email. And let's have a look at what where we can find this. So the from is right here. It's also called from, and the subject is called subject. So let's do this from, and then we're gonna drag and drop the from, and then the subject, and we're gonna drag and drop the subject. Okay, so now we have extracted from and subject of our two emails. And let's go back to Canvas and execute the workflow. Okay, and right now all of our emails on the server have been marked as read. So now we can switch to Gmail here and remark them as unread. And now we see those two emails have arrived here. Welcome to the task. So first of all, please create an n8n workflow that has one manual trigger. Please note, not an email trigger, a manual trigger, okay? When the manual trigger has started the workflow, all emails should be read. Please find the appropriate node to do so. Each email that is received needs to be classified by an AI agent. There can be 3 classes: new project, invoice, or etc. The class determined by an AI agent should be communicated to a set node. And if the AI agent classifies an email as invoice, the set node should print out a message that says an invoice has arrived. Otherwise, the message should be null. Have fun solving this task, and you may pause the video now until we compare the solutions. Welcome to the solution. So in your n8n dashboard, please click on Create Workflow. Then click on the plus to create a manual trigger here. And then we need a Gmail node that reads many emails or a list of emails. So let's have a look. Let's click on this plus here and let's look for Gmail. And now we see this group of nodes. Let's click it. And let's pick this Get Many Messages node here. And here we can see that this node is already connected to my Gmail account. So I don't need to set up the credentials here. And this looks good. Let's execute this step. And now it looks like I have received 21 emails here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to create an AI agent that is going to take these emails as input. And if you don't know about AI agents, I have already created a lecture or a part about AI agents. It's part 8. Okay, so please check it out and yeah, check it out. I explained AI agents there. Okay, so let's go back to Canvas and let's click this plus here and let's look for AI agent. Okay, And now we can see that the input has already arrived here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to define a prompt that classifies the email input. Yeah, the email body, sorry, that classifies the email body. So we're gonna switch the source for prompt. We're gonna say that we're gonna define our own prompt. So let's click on define below. And now we're gonna say that the task for this AI agent is classify the following email into either new project, invoice, or etc. And by the way, I always use this sharp symbol in order to give instructions to LLMs or to AI agents. And for me, this prompting technique has proven really successful. So at this point, I can recommend this to you. So then secondly, I'm going to specify some rules, and I'm going to say just reply with new project, invoice, or etc. No explanation. So now we're going to say that this AI agent only responds etc. invoice or new project, because otherwise it maybe gives us an explanation etc. We don't want that. We want an output that is one of those three strings. Okay, so no explanation at this point. And now we say that the email that needs to be classified is here. So now we can say the subject colon, and we're gonna reference now to JSON dot subject, and the body is JSON dot, where is it, snippet. Okay, and this is the prompt. And now we can execute this. Of course, we need to define a chat model first. So let's get back to Canvas here. Let's click on the plus. And let's look for our OpenAI chat model. And yeah, this looks correct. I have already set up an OpenAI API key. If you don't know how to set this up, please watch part 6 of my n8n training course where I teach how to set it up. So let's go back to Canvas. Sorry, part 7, not part 6, part 7. Okay, so let's go back to Canvas. And yeah, let's double click on the AI agent and let's execute this step. And now this is going to take a while because now we have 21 emails. So the AI agent is going to go at least 21 loops. So let's just wait. Okay. So now we already have for each of the 21 emails a classification. And we see that the first two newest emails are classified as invoice. So let's have a look at the email inbox from Gmail. And this is correct. Rechnung is German and means invoice, so just to make sure that this is no cheap string comparison or whatever, this is really an AI agent classification here. And the rest is not really a invoice, so only the two newest are invoices, so this is correct. Now the next step is that we create a set node right after the AI agent. So let's go back to Canvas and let's click on this plus here and let's create a set node. And right now we want to check if output equals invoice, and if this is the case, then we want to set the message variable to an invoice has arrived. So let's create a new field or a new variable here. Let's call it message. Okay, and let's check. Let's create an expression. Let's check if $JSON.output equals invoice. Then we're gonna set JSON. We're gonna set message to an invoice has arrived. Otherwise, message is simply null. Okay, so let's test this. And this is the correct output for the first two emails. We had invoices, so the message needs to be an invoice has arrived. And for the other emails, which were not invoices, the message is null.